Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy, Don Benito. And before I start this podcast, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody and all our listeners. Thank you for being true supporters throughout 2024 and now moving on to 2025. Like me and Pastor D are ecstatic, and we say thank you for your support. Thank you for joining our channel and supporting what we do. Now, without further ado, I have got a transfer update for you today on Manchester United. It's actually a transfer bomba, if you know what I'm saying. But let's just dive straight into it, yeah? Kolo Moani. So now there are thoughts and reports coming out that Ruben Amorim is looking to sign in Kolo Moani on January in this window on a loan offer, maybe with an option to buy. I'm not too sure. So now these stories actually confuse me a little bit because they always say Amorim said this, Amorim said that. Until Amorim actually comes out and says that this is the player, I don't know how to take it, because it was the same situation with Erik ten Hag. There were a lot of arguments that people were having, whether it was when it came to signings, whether it was Erik ten Hag signing or it was Ineos signing or the board signing. We're never really sure who actually wants this signing. But there's a report that Manchester United are looking into getting Kolo Muani from PSG. Now, that is a very interesting signing. And the reason why this is happening, because again, there are more stories on Zirkzee, which is weird. I initially thought that the Zirkzee stories were not true. I saw him come on against Liverpool, and I thought to myself, this guy doesn't look like a player that wants to leave Manchester United. You know what I'm saying? Especially after 6 months of just arriving. I don't believe, or I didn't think that there is a gravitas with this story. Like there's any kind of, you know what I'm saying? But for some reason, the Zirkzee story keeps on gaining momentum. And we are at a stage where it seems like the representative of Zirkzee have a good relationship with Juventus, and they're trying to push for a move. Now, this story there cannot be any smoke without fire, or no fire without smoke. There is no way that Zirkzee's representatives can just go to Juventus and start talking to them and saying that, listen, especially after what we had to do to get him, we paid Zirkzee's agent some money so that we can secure this player. I remember. So what is this situation of them now pushing for a move? Now, like I said, there's no fire without smoke, or there's no smoke without fire. I believe this is coming from Zirkzee. It's an opinion, sorry. I believe it's coming from Zirkzee, because there's no way that his representatives can just go out there and start making moves on his behalf without him knowing. It's the same thing with the Pogba situation. You know what I'm saying? So there is a deal to be done. Now, obviously, Zirkzee would have to leave in order for us to bring in Kolo Muani, because we know our people here. They keep on telling us that there's no money, there's this, and there's that. So we're in that place of limbo. And then there's a curveball within that bomba, because Juventus need money. They need to make money. And maybe they're trying to stay with the financial rules or whatever it is that they call them. But I think Juventus don't have money. They need to actually sell to buy, because that's the situation that they're in. And one of their players that they're looking to selling out, it might be a player that could come back to the Premier League, and that is Douglas Luiz. Now, there's a report that says that there could be a swap deal there. I don't know how that balances out, because Zirkzee is a forward, Douglas Luiz is a midfielder. But when you deep the situation, and then you look at Kolo Muani, Zirkzee, and Douglas Luiz, I don't know. In a fantasy world, I think that could happen. In a sense that, look, we get rid of, Zirkzee wants to leave. I'm not saying we're trying to get rid of him. I was still willing to give him a year, like everybody else. I'm not I'm not I'm not the type to be like, nah, let's get rid of him. I have seen signs that he's not truly a number nine, but that doesn't mean that he cannot work in our team. That doesn't mean that he doesn't have a place in our team. You know, Amorim is still cooking. You know what I'm saying? Amorim is still cooking. So we're still at that stage where he's still trying to figure out exactly where everybody fits in. Now, with Zirkzee wanting to leave, that is a tricky situation. Now, we're not going to sit here and hold him back and say that, no, don't go Zirkzee because so far he hasn't shown us enough, you know. But I sit here thinking to myself, we need to bring in a midfielder, actually. We do. Because last night there was a report that Al Nassr, Cristiano Ronaldo, Al Nassr are looking into signing Casemiro this January transfer window, which will be music to everybody's ears because we need to get rid of that wage bill. We need to get rid of somebody who, and I hate saying this about Casemiro because I've got so much respect for him, but we need to get rid of the dead weight. And by no means am I saying that Casemiro is dead weight because it would be actually blasphemous for me to say things like that. I respect football players. I was a football player. So I'm not going to sit here and start saying that he's whack and shit. Nah. So I respect him, but he's dead weight with regards to where we want to go. He doesn't have the legs for the Premier League anymore. He just he seems a shell of the Casemiro that came in 3 seasons ago or 2 seasons ago, where he came in, slipped into our team and fit like a glove. Like that is gone. So there are rumors that he could be leaving this January, going to Al Nassr to join Cristiano Ronaldo. And apparently Cristiano Ronaldo has been waiting for this. I think he's the one who even approved it. So if that deal can get done, I think it opens the way for Douglas Luiz, who, by the way, Douglas Luiz is a fine midfielder. I think he's a box to box, more on the defensive side, because the Brazilians are they produce quality defensive midfielders. So Douglas Luiz is right there, and when I deep what we need in Manchester United, we actually need another midfielder. In fact, if we were to get rid of Casemiro, we need to replace him. And what better way to replace him with Douglas Luiz? Douglas Luiz and Manuel Ugarte and Menu and Bruno in that midfield. It's crazy. It is mental to even think about. But we're just going to have to wait and see what goes down. And then we move on to Kolo Muani. So Kolo Muani, like I said, he's part of this whole Zirkzee thing, this whole situation moving from PSG to Man United. Apparently, Kolo Muani is not in favor, which I don't understand. The boy, in his whole time at PSG, has not gotten injured. I mean, he has been injured once. And that was like for 7 days. In 5 years, that guy has been injured once or twice. And that has culminated in 7 days. He was sick. Like, he is literally the player that we needed. When I say the player that we need, I'm talking about I don't know when was the last time we have actually had a fit striker that's going to be there and do the job. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say that, but he's kind of similar to Zirkzee-ish. And, I see it, but I think he's more direct. He's more a number 9 compared to Zirkzee. So I believe he will work. He's very good with his back against the wall. He's fast. He's very aggressive. He goes directly at you. And I really think if this is true, if Amorim is really looking to bringing in Kolo Muani at Manchester United, I honestly believe that is a very good signing. In the sense that he ticks all the boxes for the kind of striker that we need. Fast, strong, agile, direct. We need that. Not injury prone. I mean, come on. Like, this is just dang. Like, you look at Zirkzee, not Zirkzee, sorry. You look at Rasmus Højlund. How many times has Rasmus Højlund been injured? Not that he's injured now, but we need that consistency. And we have seen that Rasmus Højlund is not really the guy for us at the moment. He's our number 9, yes, but he's not the number 9, if you know what I'm saying. Moving on, Marcus Rashford. Now, Marcus Rashford, this one is also another interesting one. I actually would like to see this deal move on as quickly as possible because I feel Marcus Rashford's presence in Manchester United is just, it's like a dark cloud. and I don't say that in a very mean way. I don't mean it in any malicious way, but I just feel his presence to the club, like him just being there, it's just like we are always trying to find ways to talk about him while we shouldn't. But there's some good news. There could be some good news depending on how you see it. AC Milan are looking into bringing in Marcus Rashford, especially because they have got Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's working as an executive at Manchester United, at AC Milan, sorry. And there are reports saying that he is actually thinking about bringing him in. Now, I don't know if they're going to be able to deal with his wages. I think that one is going to be a very tricky deal to do because Italian clubs don't really pay their players very high wages. And if Marcus Rashford goes that side, it's going to be like, So I don't think AC Milan can afford Marcus Rashford. I mean, they might do a deal to find a way to bring him there, but in terms of financially, I don't think they can afford him. Now, my question is, with Rashford's current form, where does he think he's going to fit into that AC Milan team? Rafael Leao is firing. Who's this other? Pulisic is firing. Who's the other guy on this side? For like that team is firing on all cylinders. They literally just beat what's this? Inter in the Coppa Italia in a very difficult game. So it's not like, I know a lot of people think that when Marcus Rashford leaves Manchester United, he's just gonna go to any other team and then tear it up. No. If he's playing bad like he is right now, then I don't understand how he's actually boosting his stocks, like his attitude and everything else. I don't see how he fits into that team. The team that I do see him fit in is actually PSG, which he has been linked with for the longest of time. I mean, remember that story with his brother going to PSG and trying to check out what's going on. They were trying to fish, whatever it is that they were trying to do. But Marcus Rashford has been linked with PSG longer than I can imagine. And I believe this Kolo Muani swap deal could actually make sense. Kolo Muani for Rashford, unless we are trying to say we're going to bring in another player who is exactly like Rashford, because Kolo Muani is going to be playing as a striker. I don't know. And then left back. The left back situation is the situation is intensifying. I don't know if we're actually going to get this left back in, but if we are not looking into bringing in a permanent deal, I think we need to start looking at a loan. We need a left back. Ineos cannot deny us of a left back. We need it. We need a left back more than we need a striker, because we can't keep on deploying Dalot in that position and then hoping that he doesn't get skinned one game. He had a very good game against Liverpool. And you know me, I'm very critical of Dalot. But then, was that a once-off? Was that one time that he did that? Is he going to revert back to his default settings? I don't know. But we are in a position where we need to bring a left-footed left back. Not a right-footed. No, we need a left-footed left back. Now, Manchester United have already bought that boy from Paraguay, but he's not yet been signed in, or he's not yet been unveiled. Probably going to be unveiled beginning of next season. But then we need a left back. Who are the left backs that we're being linked to? Mendes. Mendes is a player that we've been linked to, and he's from PSG. Mendes, for me, I know we keep on being linked to him, but I don't want him. I'm sorry. He's just another Luke Shaw and Tyrell Malacia. He's injury prone. Like, I get it. I get that he worked with Amorim. I get that they were together at Sporting Lisbon at once upon a time. I get it. But Anthony worked with Erik ten Hag at Ajax. Van der Beek worked with Erik ten Hag at Ajax. Do you see where I'm going with this? I'm not saying that Nuno Mendes won't come in and do a job for Manchester United. He will. But we need to start paying attention to these injury records. We can't be bringing fragile players. We can't be bringing eggs into Manchester United. It's impossible. If he gets injured, Luke Shaw is injured, Malacia is injured, what the hell? We're deploying Dalot back again to his... Like, we don't want those kind of situations. You know what I'm saying? But so far, this is what's going on at Manchester United. Marcus Rashford could be on his way out to AC Milan. Joshua Zirkzee is wanted by Juventus, and they want him bad. Kolo Muani could come to Manchester United, provided that Manchester United push for this deal with enthusiasm and energy. And Douglas Luiz, could there be a swap deal there? We need a midfielder. Eriksen, and the funny thing is with Eriksen has been good this season. It's just not, it's like Mata. Remember when Mata's legs bounced? Or did Mata ever have legs, by the way? Because we owe every Manchester United supporter, fan, whatever, knows Mata for this. His brain was faster than a lot of people, So are we trying to do this? This Douglas Luiz situation is actually exciting me because I think we needed reinforcement in that midfield. We're not playing Collier, who's somebody who I thought was actually going to feature much. I'm surprised he is not. That kid played against Liverpool last season. He was thrown into the deep end and he handled himself. How is he not playing right now? Now I'm starting to respect the decisions of the manager. In fact, I've been respecting the decisions of the manager. But then when I think about how it is looking right now, and I'm just sitting there thinking, wow, this is great. A lot of people are calling for Amas. Where's Amas? Where's this? You know what? Trust Ruben to put the right youngster. Maybe he doesn't trust youngsters as much as Erik ten Hag did. But I think we have not given him enough time to do that. He's just been here 2 months, 3 months, 2.5 months. So he's still got plenty of time. But the last thing that I wanted to say is Manchester United is moving in the right direction, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. If there's any rebuild that anybody can think about right now, this is the proper rebuild. I know we've been having rebuilds for the past 5 or maybe even the decade. But those were not rebuilds. Those were just papering over the cracks and doing this and doing that. Stopgap situation. You bring in a player there was no foundation. Like Ralph Rangnick shaked our foundation. He was the first one to bring up the big situation that's happening in Manchester United. And we just sat there thinking to ourselves, oh, what is this guy talking about? But there was so much going on that we didn't know about. And then now, as I sit here, as I look at Ruben Amorim, as I connect with our gaffer, I believe that this era that we are in right now is the build-up. This is the journey to going and fighting for the top. I'm telling you, this is it. I'm not saying it in the way how can I put it? I'm not assuming or thinking we're going to have another rebuild. No ways. This is it. This is it. Honestly, I think after this, if Ruben fails, it's another manager. It's just as simple as that. That's just how things work. He can be the nicest guy, but if shit doesn't work, they will move him on. And I'm used to that and I'm ready for that. But he is the right guy. I believe you. Like if we're trying to bring up any kind of comparison, and I'm not even saying he's trying to be Sir Alex Ferguson, but he has this spirit of a fighter. He has this spirit of Mufasa, somebody that's going to fight for everyone. And that is Ruben Amorim. I love my gaffer. And I think you guys too. And we need to keep on supporting them. That game against Liverpool was a sign. You saw how he came out and he was angry. Why was he angry? Do you know why he was angry? I'm pretty sure you know why he was angry. We all saw why he was angry. He was frustrated because he was like, these players can actually do it. But the fact that they didn't do it against lesser sides, and then they come and do it against these big boys, oh, that frustrates me. And that's where Ruben Amorim is. He's angry because he believes, he knows. And ladies and gentlemen, can we not ignore what Ruben Amorim says? You know, I know there's this Zirkzee situation, like that's just coming out from nowhere. But like I said, we can't say there's no smoke without fire or no fire without smoke. You know what I'm saying? So this Zirkzee situation, there was something that Ruben Amorim said that was, for us people that like to watch these pressers and interviews and and you pick up information from that. Ruben Amorim said something that was very telling. He kind of backed Joshua Zirkzee, saying he's our boy, na. And then there was the question of selling and signings during January, and he was like, listen, he gave that answer of like, he could be out. You know what I'm saying? So this story, like, and Amorim, can we listen to him? Can we listen to what he is telling us? Because already people jump on him. Like just before this Liverpool game, people were on Ruben Amorim's ass. You know, he needs to change. He needs to change his style. He needs to be what? Basically, they wanted him to improvise. No, that's going against his principles. Why don't people respect that? Why are people not seeing that and be like, what? Because of Ange Postecoglou? Ange Postecoglou is just stubborn. He's got a situation. He can tell his players not to move up high. He can, but he chooses not to. He wants to rock and roll. That's just his style. But why are people shitting on that? Oh no, I've not seen anything. They're just losing. What? If you watched Manchester United games as a true Manchester United fan, you would have noticed in these last 5 games that we've lost or whatever, the last 5 games that we've been through, we've averaged 50% ball possession. Like, we are taking the fight to these people. The goals that we concede, yes, are dubious. Like, they are very, very cringe. It's like, oh, really, guys? Can you do something about that? I get that and I understand that. But those are our players. They've got a mistake in them. You know what I'm saying? But you look at the football that we are playing. Yes, there was maybe a first half there that's not good. The second half, ooh, bang, 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 bang. Everybody's not paying attention to us right now. And which is why I keep on having this thing of like, we are going to make it into the top half of the table. And the crazy thing is, okay, I've pulled back and saying top 6, top 4, but I still have that spirit in me. I still believe that these guys are going to make it in a very high, like, maybe not top 4, but top 6 is up for grabs. Like, Manchester United will be in Europe, basically. That's what I'm trying to allude at. They're going to be in Europe next season. This team with Amorim. I know if I say that, people are like, nah, I'm trying to be pompous. I'm trying to be this. Nah, I'm just speaking my heart. I'm just speaking what I see. These players are going to continue taking us through this roller coaster that we are in already. But the quality that we have. Did you guys listen to Ange Arne Slot? Arne Slot was panicking. Arne Slot was nervous. Arne Slot kept on. Go and listen to his post-match conference against Manchester United. You will see that is a man that is wounded. He thought he was just going to walk over Manchester United. And which, again, I go back to the previous game that we played against them under Erik ten Hag. We lost that game because of stupid mistakes. 3 goals. Stupid mistakes. Other than that, that game would have ended 0-0 or us winning that game. This United squad that was assembled in Erik ten Hag's era is strong. It's just weird because, yeah, they've got this virus that they have like that they've been collecting over the years. It's there. It's a pandemic. But there's quality there. You look at Bruno. Bruno was in God mode. I think that was Bruno's first ever good game against Liverpool in a United jersey. Ever. That game. I'll sit here and argue with anyone about it. That was Bruno's best game. Like, I don't know what was going on in that game, but that game was awesome. We didn't sit back and just allow to be taken. Nah, we fought back. We dished it out. It was beautiful. That's why I'm saying trust these guys. Trust the gaffer. Let's listen to the gaffer. Let's listen to what he's telling us. He says a lot all the time, telling us about what's going on with the team, about Marcus Rashford. He talks about training. He talks about this. Like, he talks about everything. And I'm sitting there listening to Amram. I'm always like this. Oh my gaffer. That's how I am. I won't lie to you. I'm literally just like, that's my guy. Like, in no homo way. Like, I love this guy. He speaks to us. And like I said, it's like he's been a United fan all his life. Please, everybody, jump into the comments. What do you guys think? Do you guys think the Kolo Muani deal is a good deal? Do you think Douglas Luiz is going to be a huge addition? I actually, like, if we can pull that off, if Ineos can pull that off, wow. I'll give them respect for that, because Douglas Luiz he's got that thing, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. Thank you everybody for listening to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy Don Benito, and I'm out. Peace.